Dark motivation works. Like it'll create results, right? Nobody's arguing that, but what nobody tells you, it'll also build the thing that'll eventually eat you alive. Like dirty fuel, aka dark motivation, aka unresolved pain, will build something, but it's dark. That's what gets built. Is dark motivation creates dark results. So we'll dig in on what unresolved pain actually is, what dark motivation actually is, why it feels like success, even though it's not, what it's costing you, and then the alternative, what you can actually run on to have this thing feel the way that you always hoped it would feel. Dark motivation is unresolved pain as the primary driver of your business. And most people will say, well, no, I'm using my business to heal that. No, you're using business to run from it. People using dark motivation are running on dirty fuel. Grief, shame, rage, fear, anger, whatever, abandonment, like any of the need to prove. You point that at a revenue target and it'll move the number. Like that's the whole reason it works, and also the whole reason it's hard to give up. And the thing is, and this is my bone to pick with the industry, because it doesn't just tolerate this; it awards it. It perpetuates this narrative. It's prove them wrong. Fuck the haters. Let the haters fuel you. I made the worst thing that happened to me mean something. Fuck, yo, that is tiring. You're not alchemizing anything. You're taking the same energy of the thing that happened to you and integrating it into your business and creating it as home. As this is how we operate. And even the ones that sound noble, right? Ah, we were poor and I'll never go back there. They run on the same mechanic. Like short term, it might produce, but dark motivation is running away from something. Sooner or later, you need something to run toward, right? Dirty fuel, plain and simple, gets dirty results. Like, you don't get to decide what gets built from that energy. Like, it leaks into everything, into hiring decisions, into client relationships, into marketing. And if it leaks into marketing, if you're dirty fuel, that dark energy leaks into marketing. Well, imagine what kind of clients it's going to bring in. Dirty fuel contaminates the whole system. And the system has your name on it. Dirty fuel, hiring, client work, marketing, what you build, what you attract. It does not stay where you think you put it. You can't silo this stuff. And the tell is always alignment. Like imagine a fitness coach telling clients they need sleep for optimal hormonal balance, but they're up at 11:30 fixing a new ad set. When they're already at 4x ROAS, like make it make sense, guys. I'm telling people, oh, you know what? You ought to not worry about that. That could wait till tomorrow. But for some reason, like this, because you run a business, your shit's different. Come on. Listen, you're the biggest grandfather clock in your brand. If you have yet to hear me explain that one, grandfather clocks fall in sync with other grandfather clocks in the room. And they all fall in sync with the largest grandfather clock, the one with the most grounded, stable rhythm. Unfortunately, even if you don't have the grounded, stable rhythm, if you've managed to build a brand, you are that biggest grandfather clock. And what you put out will seep into everybody else. So if you think like, oh, I can just bury it and it won't affect anything, it's affecting everybody you touch. Because dissonance gets felt long before it gets heard. It's when people stop listening. That's when results stop coming. And that's honestly, on a long enough timeline, when they stop buying. Here's why dirty fuel feels like success. Success that doesn't feel the way you thought it would, though. Like at multi six figures a month, there's so much on paper proof that you simply accept, like, this must be what success feels like, right? It's people call it, oh, it's the hedonic treadmill. It's hedonic adaptation. No, it's anhedonia. It's the inability to enjoy anything. Like the steak doesn't taste the way it used to. The $500 shirt doesn't do anything. So you buy the $50,000 Rolex, but none of it actually fills the gap anymore. On the way up, you thought it would, but even the GT2 RS gets sold because like I realized I didn't want my dream car, because the dream was never the car or the stakes. The dream was how you thought the stakes or the car would make you feel. But those things can't do that. And as long as, if the pain is down here, we have revenue here, time here, down here is pain, Down here is the good stuff. And if you get way up here and there's too much space from the pain, guess what dirty fuel will do? Well, it's going to create magic, so to speak, mechanisms, subconscious pieces that have you miss opportunities, have you accidentally, in quotes, backsliding your business because this feels more familiar. And even if the revenue stays up, you're going to hire, you're going to do all kinds of things because the pain feels familiar. How dare you have something that feels good? Because the minute you get something that's supposed to feel good, but it doesn't feel the way you thought it would feel, it's either turn into it and ask why it doesn't feel that way, or you guessed it, make another growth move to make it feel painful again. And so many people come to me and tell me this is what made me successful. Like, this is just who I am. But the body doesn't lie, because so many people will come to me and tell me, well, Chase, like, I love my story. It's what made me who I am. And then 30 seconds to 30 minutes later, I hear them talking about their anxiety. They're still identifying as somebody who owns anxiety. That's not cleaning out the tank and running on good fuel. That's using dirty fuel to try and create something that you're never going to get to. Or I thrive with my back against the wall. No, you're running dark motivation that requires a wall. Like, your brain is built to keep you in the familiar, and the wall has become familiar. So you'll get up, you'll get some space, you'll get into a wide open field, but the wide open field, for some reason, for whatever created the dirty fuel, whatever story is in there that is running the dirty fuel, space feels constrictive. The paradox, right? Here's the thing. A business that grows and feels soulless isn't freedom. It's just a nicer cage. Like, let's be real. What does dirty fuel actually cost you, though? Because sooner or later, boundaries blur, resentment builds, and like sabotage starts before you notice it. Because the business that you built to enjoy the things that you say you built it to enjoy, well, it starts seeping into family life. It starts seeping into social life. You stop going out. You stop enjoying your family. You stop being super present at dinner. And you don't notice it at first, right? At first, you're just agitated with the family, agitated with the social situation, because they ought to know how important the business is. But no matter how hard you grind in the business, it feels like it's slipping through your fingers. And it's not that the business is slipping through your fingers. It's that subconsciously you're growing to resent it, because you're not doing the things that you said you would build the business to do. So, of course, your subconscious is going to say, well, what is this? Hey, listen, we understand that you ran on dirty fuel for a little bit, but that dirty fuel is contaminating the whole system. It's time to clean it out, and you won't go any further. It stops being a business problem. I've sat with too many successful on-paper entrepreneurs where the body ends up telling the story long before they even address it. Autoimmune flare-ups, that when we work together, all of a sudden their autoimmune stuff gets better. Their sleep that never gets better. Like, all the supplements, all the whatever, the nervous system regulation hacks, and their sleep is still trash. And then not to mention relationships coming apart. Significant others leaving. People moving out seemingly unexpectedly. And I've seen worse. I've seen people have multiple miscarriages. I had one client who had multiple miscarriages. And then we worked together. And that client, could be correlation, that client didn't have any other miscarriages, was able to get pregnant. Dirty fuel contaminates more than people think. It's wrecking the whole system. You can't silo this stuff. You can't say, oh, I'm running my business on dirty fuel, but I'm super present and happy over here with my family. It's not how it works. And here's the paradox, right? There's so many entrepreneurs. They'll track their HRV and recovery. They'll look at their sleep, the peptides, cold plunge sauna. They'll never look at the grief that never actually got felt. They'll never look at the rage that's running the calendar. Ask me about that one. They'll never look at the shame that's under their ambition. Because if they slow down, they'd have to admit that shame is there. And they'll never look at every single open loop in the back of their head. They'd rather create another SOP and launch another ad set. Meanwhile, their team is wondering why everything that looks good on paper feels like trash inside of this company. Meanwhile, their clients go, oh, wow, the marketing was really good, but something is off, like right after the sales call. It's a felt experience. And until you address this stuff's all just Dog and Pony Show. Optimizing biology and ignoring psychology. And when you ignore psychology, it shows up in your biology too, like we talked about. And then people wonder why the recovery score won't move. Blue light blockers, walks, meditation, whatever. None of it changes the fuel in the tank. Talked with a guy, super, super successful in the space by most people's standards. 7 figures in the bank, $100,000 in a day. Felt nothing. Felt worse, actually, like a pit in the stomach, because like, oh, it didn't fix it. Like, it didn't give me the wahoo butterflies I thought it would, because it's not a budget problem. It's a fuel problem. Once you're making $20,000 a month, it's really not a budget problem. It's a fuel problem. And you fix the fuel, and all of a sudden you have a lot more money in the budget too, because you're not playing retail therapy trying to fill that hole. It's like putting regular unleaded in an engine that's supposed to run on 93 octane premium. Right? The engine still runs, but it just never sounds right. But if you never run it on premium, you just assume it's the noise that engine makes. But you put the premium in there, and it runs smooth. It runs fast. It runs confident. That's the difference. But until you feel the difference, you never know it. Heard a guy tell me he went from a beat-up Chevy with a door that didn't close to a Porsche Macan. Put the lesser unleaded in the Macan, it literally sounded different. Like, most people are running a high-performance vehicle on regular unleaded. And if you've never had premium in the tank, you just assume dirty fuel works. I worked in engine rooms in the Navy. And the pressurized systems needed pressure, right? But if the relief valve was always popping, there's a problem. Right? The question is never the relief valve. It's why the system is overpressuring. Because 9 times out of 10 in the compressor, we would open it up and find, this is backwards, we would find water in the oil. The relief valve popping looks like binge, the bottle service weekends, the bender you deserve. But those are all just side effects, not rewards. That's dirty fuel trying to keep itself covered. That does it. That just adds more dirty fuel to the tank. And here's the thing. The paradox, most of my clients come to me, they don't say, Chase, I'm so torn up. They say, I can't remember the last time I felt joy. So I ask when was the last time they felt despair or guilt or shame. But they never felt any of that either. Just, in quotes, detachment. That's not real detachment, by the way. They just bypassed all of it. You can only feel the upside as far as you are willing to feel the low side. That's the paradox here. So if you're running on dirty fuel, you never stop to sit in that stuff. And Joseph Campbell said it, any feeling felt fully is bliss. If you're not stopping to sit in that stuff, good luck ever actually enjoying your business to the level that you could be able to. The alternative isn't weak. Doesn't mean sitting still, because clean fuel still burns, and burns even better. But Chase, I'm supposed to just be happy and peaceful and still perform? I'm not supposed to run on dark motivation? Like, that's the pushback every time. That it's the harder path, not the softer one. You guys have heard me tell you this one before. We'll go again. A cow and a bison both feel the storm coming. The cow turns and runs with the storm and stays inside of it longer. That's dirty fuel. It keeps nipping at your heels, so you keep trying to move the revenue target, thinking it'll quiet it. But dirty fuel is always just right under that revenue number. The bison turns and walks into the storm, comes out the other side sooner. When you go into the dirty fuel and you process the stories that lie underneath it, you still get to perform just with a clean foundation. The drive doesn't disappear. That created ceiling does, because now space doesn't feel constrictive. Space feels like space. And space actually feels safe. Dirty fuel is compulsion. Clean fuel is calling. The weakest thing you can do is keep running on dirty fuel. I had a client recently. He was plateaued at 60 to 70K a month. There it is. Corey, 60 to 70K a month. They're plateaued for a year. And when we started working together, he had lived a life of men don't feel feelings. Don't feel your feelings. Don't cry. Control your emotions. Well, in controlling them, he was hiding from them. And in 1 month of working together, went from $60,000 to $70,000 a month to $133,000 in 1 month. I had another client, fell from $40,000 a month to zero. And he couldn't figure out why. Like, I'm running the same ads, I'm doing all the same stuff. So we dug in, and it turns out there was an old relationship that was taking up space in his brain that he didn't even realize was affecting his business. And when we got rid of that breakup, and he actually allowed himself to feel it instead of operating with this, fuck this, I'm going to prove her wrong energy, homie ran to $96,000 in 1 month. So clean fuel is better than dirty fuel. For a solo or even small team, a coach or online entrepreneur, your personal life is nearly 1-to-1 with your business. Like, you would have to be at serious scale for a fight with your partner and not touch the profit and loss. Like, people treat it like a 9 to 5, but you cannot silo this stuff. 3 degrees of influence. Your habits, actions, behaviors, addictions, beliefs are contagious to your friends. So you, to your team, your clients, your family, everyone they touch, friends, and everybody they touch. What are you transmitting? Like, if you're running on dirty fuel, seriously, what are you transmitting? That's the question. When you clean out the tank and you stop building to prove somebody wrong, you start building what you actually wanted to build in the first place. The courageous move isn't grinding harder. It's turning around and looking at the noise for once. I take on 1 to 2 new 1-to-1 clients per month. So if you're ready to look at the thing most coaches spend their entire career trying to ignore, and you wonder why this industry chews up and spits out so many people, click the link in the description, fill out the application. If I think we'd be a good fit, I'll reach out and schedule a call.